Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another great episode of Debate Amongst Friends. Tonight, we will discuss NBA Game 1 and 2 of the finals. We're going to give those recaps and our predictions to Game 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fine edition of Debate Amongst Friends, where we have the Doc and the Prof, and we're better than the best!
Wow.
Because when they say the best, they're talking about Doc and Prof. Doc, how you doing tonight?
My man, Johnny Podcast.
What's going on?
I'm doing great.
I was gonna do the New Day
Um,
thing, but I didn't know if my voice was gonna be able to hold up. Plus, you already did the intro as well too, so that kind of repeated
well,
the point.
you know, I was listening to Chris Jericho's podcast earlier, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to switch it up a little bit. Let's not just go in there and, you know, just just go the same tonight. And I
I
mean,
mean, but it's an iconic line, though.
which is why I still said it. I just gave it a little bit more flair. I gave the people a little bit more
A little more
oomph.
flair.
Yeah, just a little bit, just to give them a little bit more.
It might be too much. The
Just
hype might kill him.
oh no. Come on back with us, people. Come on back. I mean, but we're here. I'm doing good. I'm ready to talk about these games that just happened, and then we got a game tonight that's going to be pretty huge. Um, a lot of injuries. I mean, we could.
Blasphemous.
We should just jump right into it.
Absolutely. The Toronto Raptors stole Game One, and I'm
Hmm.
using the word "stolen" in a mocking tone because
Hmm.
people gave them no chance,
No chance in hell. You got. Come on, come on,
and
come on. Get it?
they was able to persevere to take Game One. Now Game Two rolled around, and it was a story of two scenarios, two storylines of Game Two. One side, and this is something I'm going to talk about, was the refereeing because I thought once again goes right back. And you heard me say this since the start of the season about how important the referee play is going to be for the NBA Finals. I've said this. I've been on record saying this,
Mm-hmm.
and it's ugly head once again, folks. And the second storyline was, of course, the injury, which we'll talk about in a second. But
Mm-hmm.
how much the Warriors really got shut down in that second half? Like people, like especially the tail end of the fourth quarter. Like people aren't really talking about that.
Right. And I think that's credit to the Raptors defense, which we talked about, last week, which last week seems like ages ago. I mean, we were talking about this, and a lot of the things that we both said kind of came true.
Absolutely.
We talked about Kyle Lowry. We talked about Van Fleet. I think I mentioned Quinn Cook coming off
Yeah.
the bench. Um, and it really, came down to some of those exact players. So, I mean, getting off the phone maybe about an hour ago with Shadow, my brother,
Shout
I
out to
mean, his
Shadow.
his words, not mine. Kyle Lowry stinks,
I can understand why he would say that. Um,
but he didn't give us the magic, that magic performance that I mentioned last week. If
you
he
did.
gave us that performance,
You did.
it wouldn't be a good look. But if they do wind up losing this series, and Kawhi decides to stay, I could see them looking to make a move on the point guard position or turning it over to Van Vliet to take their team to the next level.
Which, once again, I think it's way too early. I feel like a lot of people are being very knee jerk with their reactions.
Well,
I, I,
I'm
I,
going based off the fact that he's a former Rocket.
I see what you did there. I see what you did
You
there.
know,
I mean,
that's my particular point. He's a former Rocket, so I mean, to me, it's like, you know,
well, let's talk
he's a
about the first game and then we'll talk about the second game. Let's talk about because these are
absolute.
isolated incidents.
Hmm.
So, what was your biggest takeaway coming out of game one?
Siakam. I mean, that was the biggest takeaway. Siakam came to play. This is his first finals. He wants to win it. He said, you know what, I'm gonna do this one. You guys got to pick up the slack for the rest of the series, but I'm gonna get this one, and we're gonna go all out. But it seems like he had all of
Tools.
the energy, the tools. He had some great post moves, like his post moves that he put on Draymond in the third or fourth quarter of game one.
Very,
I mean,
very
it was
Hakeem like.
yes, it was so dreamlike, and I was just like, oh my god, like did he just do that to Draymond? And
Yes, he did.
and it was so amazing. But obviously, the focus of the Warriors in game one was to stop Kawhi, which they were okay at. I mean, he still got his points. Steph got his points, but I feel like some of the other teammates, didn't really come out and kind of help Steph for game one.
Yes.
I think Van Vliet came off the bench and he had a good game one.
Yep.
Gave some contributing time.
He played
Everything
33
that we
minutes and got 15 points.
yeah everything that we talked about, really came into fruition for the game one. Game two, I feel like things just kind of went different. But I want to get your take on game one before we go to game two, of course.
Well, firstly, let's just acknowledge the fact that the starting lineups that I predicted was
Hmm.
exactly what we saw.
Absolutely, and I don't know why, and I felt to me, I felt at the center spot, starting Jordan Bell to me was a mistake. I didn't agree with it.
I felt like if they was going to give Kevon Looney almost 30 minutes of playtime, then you should have just started him.
Right, and that's what I'm thinking. Just let Looney play, and and just go on about your business. But they started Bell, I guess, to have a smaller lineup, or maybe somebody that I don't even know why they started Bell. Honestly, I can't
I
even.
don't know.
Maybe they thought that Bell could be able to get out there to guard Gasol on the three ball. I mean that's I don't know because Looney's actually a very very good perimeter defender. He's stripped some pretty good dribblers,
Yep.
James Harden being one of them. So I he's not your typical center that can't go out there and play
Well, and we talked
on
about that when it comes to the game's evolution, though. Like, you can't
right,
be, flat footed, 7 foot, or trying to guard someone who has the abilities of a James Harden. Like, you just won't survive in the
right,
league.
right. I agree. Yeah,
But
I agree, and I think he's a pretty solid player. And again, I'm game one. I was surprised. I know that I said that you know the Warriors would win it, but I was highly big time mistaken.
but it happens. It happens. Like, these things
I
just
would have
happen.
never I would have never expected them to come out so flat. And I'm saying that they were going to win based on everything that we talked about. Who cares about KD playing or not? Because as we all know, that's not really a factor. Um, that might be a factor tonight with KD and Clay not playing and Looney potentially being out.
Well, as of right now, they said that Clay is questionable. That's what they said
I
as
think,
of right now.
yeah. I mean, it's tough because you don't want to. You don't want. I mean, what is it? It's 1-1.
Yep.
Personally, I think you sit him, but let's not jump the gun. Let's not jump the gun because you know me, I'll jump in a
No, and
heartbeat,
and I get it, but I definitely want to applaud the bench of the Raptors,
of course.
which is kind of weird when you look at it because if you look at the point totals between the two benches,
Hmm.
the Warriors bench actually scored more.
Well, yeah, I expected some. Well, here's the thing. Here's a team.
Here's a guy.
So I did expect the Raptors bench to score more. So I think I gave the Raptors bench. Actually, no, I think I might have gave it to the Warriors bench if I'm not mistaken. Only
Yeah,
because,
you gave it to the Warriors bench.
yeah, I mean, you got Livingston, you got Iguodala, which we'll talk about later, and then I mentioned Quinn Cook.
Well,
I mean, to
Iguodala
me,
starts, not he
well,
started.
Iguodala starts,
Yeah,
which that was unexpected too. I was expecting him to come up the bench, but you need, I guess, him to start with K because usually when KD's out, they usually don't bring Iguodala in. They leave him on the bench and
correct.
they bring in somebody else. But Steve Kerr decided to bring Iguodala in to start, which kind of takes away from the bench. But that's when I was saying I guess Quinn Cook would come in with Sean Livingston and some. I think they have another young player there that plays also that hit a pretty big three or two. Um, Honestly, I think the Warriors bench is able to really capitalize on, I think, the lack of depth with the Raptors.
Yes.
And that's huge. And I talked about this last year, the last 2 years really against the Rockets when Mike D'Antoni goes to that 7 or 8 man lineup
Lineup.
and everybody's kind of running around with their head cut off, they're
Yep.
tired and all this other stuff. I don't think the Raptors are tired. I really just think they got into a shooting slump from what I remember.
For the second game, yes. I feel like that's exactly and that was the first thing that I noticed no one talked about. The fact that the
Hmm.
Raptors just went code. They didn't
Yeah, because
shut
game
out the
one,
building. Like people
game
acting
one they
like
were hot.
people acting like they got destroyed. Like they was up by 12 and then they lost by like 25.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
no,
game one they
they
were hot.
just
Yeah, there's no question about it.
yes, like they
Hmm.
were still in this game, folks.
Right.
They just shot terrible.
Hmm.
They shot 11 out of 38 for three.
Mm.
That's
Mm-mm-mm.
terrible. 2 pointers with field goals altogether was 35 out of 94. They shot 37%. Like
Yeah.
they just got into a really really bad shooting slump. And it started off with Pascal Siakam because
Right.
here's the things that I noticed. Here's the media that their first thing they wanted to talk about was Pascal Siakam didn't come up show out to play, and they try to put the
Wow.
blame on him. Then it shifted to Kawhi Leonard didn't do enough,
Well, we
and then
talked
it
about this
shifted.
last week.
Hold on, and then they shifted over to Steph Curry is the best player in the game. Like it's ridiculous.
Well, I think we talked about this last week, and I told you I don't really get into that because I feel like you'll never ever please the media in that situation because that's their job. I feel like they just do their jobs. Like nobody's gonna be like Stephen A. didn't show up today. He's giving us the same rhetoric that he gives us all the time. Like nobody's gonna say that, even though he does. I
No, he
mean, it's pretty
does.
much the
Yeah, I'm
same,
like, yeah,
you
he
know.
actually does that. No, forget that. He
But
does
no,
that.
but that's his job, kind of to do the same thing over and over, and nobody's gonna ever question that. When you're playing basketball or football or whatever sport that you play, and then you go out there and your game isn't at the level where the quote unquote experts believe that you should be. Well, that's where it gets to be a little tricky. It gets to be a little tricky. And it stinks because it's like, he had a great game. All of them had great games.
Yeah.
They contributed to the team. It's more than just scoring points. It's like, and I think that's the part that's kind of
You're speaking
tricky.
to a
Is it's way
former
more than just
defender.
scoring,
I know. It's more than just points.
way more than scoring points. And I think the sooner people realize that, the sooner you'll be able to kind of appreciate what people do on the court. If you're going to be mad at anyone, you be mad at the Kyle Lowrys, the Serge Ibaka's.
Yep.
Like those are the guys you get mad at because they're stinking up the joint.
Well, Kyle Lowry was trying to do the same thing that worked in game one and game two, and it backfired.
So you can't do that sometimes.
Like you
Sometimes
can't
you
do the same old things, which goes back to what I was talking. When we're going to talk about the referees. The
hmm
referees were awful in this game for both sides,
So
for both teams.
I don't
It was
even. So
awful.
for me, I don't look at the referees anymore because I just expect them to be bad.
Yes, but I there were, and I had a chance to watch B-ball breakdown. And I was going to make a clip of this too, with
hmm
Coach Nick and Ronnie Nunn, because he brought on Ronnie Nunn to talk about some of these plays, and even
hmm
Ronnie Nunn was like, I don't know why they would make that call, because that's obviously a foul on Steph Curry. Like, obviously, looking at it now, like, yes, Kyle Lowry did not foul Clay Thompson when he was going for that layup.
hmm
Like a lot of things that you and I noticed live,
Right.
like it's weird. And I don't know if you had a chance to look at the last 2 minute report, but like there was a lot of anomalies on there. It's actually
No,
kind
I
of
did not
crazy.
get a chance. I did not get a chance to look at this report, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that at this point, it's one of them situations where people need to realize that these referees, I don't know what their pregame, conversation looks like. I mean, I know we've had, sport betting in the past. You know what I mean? Like we've had a lot of things going on in the
Sport
past. So
betting, conspiring against certain players.
yeah. So it's kind of tough when you think about it, and I don't know
The Sacramento
what's really
Kings
going
getting
on.
screwed.
See, it's just so much.
The
Cause
Cavaliers
that
defeating the 7th win Warriors.
you see, like
The
that's just
Mavericks
too.
getting screwed against the Heat.
I mean, now you're just talking about too much. you
Ah.
know,
Oh,
but
the Pelicans getting the number one draft pick,
how about the
and then the
Rockets losing?
Cavaliers getting the number one draft pick after LeBron left.
Yeah, that one was kind of rough. I mean, the Rockets losing was kind of ridiculous too.
Oh yeah, the Rockets losing Game 7 because James
Yeah,
Harden was just getting killed out there.
murdered. It was murder, first degree, premeditated. It was
Oh,
insane.
not
We should have been the ones
premeditated.
going on to beat the Cavs and the championship. But
It
it's all
what's
good.
done is done. What's done is done.
Yeah, I'll never forgive the referees for that. But ultimately, I don't expect the refs to call a good game. I don't know. I don't know. And for all we know, the games could be called exactly the right way. And this, if they, and it's probably the way they're supposed to call it in the regular season, but they don't, and that's another thing that causes it to look different,
I will
is
agree with that.
because they're not. If they just call it the same all year, like
Call it both ways. You hear players say
yeah,
that all
like
the time.
call
Just
it,
call it both ways. Coaches say the same thing.
just
Call it both ways.
just call it the same way all year long.
You know,
Playoff fouls, regular season fouls are the same. Everything should just be the
forget
same.
the one thing that I hate the most, and we talked about this in off the podcast. I hate
Mm,
makeup calls.
right.
I despise those calls. If
Yeah,
you
they're
mess
pretty.
up, you messed up. Own up
Yeah,
to that, and then let's keep going with the game. Don't give
absolutely.
the team that you screwed over a makeup
Hmm.
call a minute later. Because I know it's a makeup call, that podcasting beast knows it's a makeup call, and those that know
Hmm.
basketball know that was a makeup call. Stop
You're
giving those
right.
makeup calls. Just say, you know
You're
what, I'll
absolutely
do
right.
better, and the next time a violation happens, call the right call. That's it.
You're right. I agree wholeheartedly. I don't know
Because
why they do that.
I look at it like this. That could be the difference between, a Steph Curry having 4 fouls versus having 3 fouls heading into the fourth quarter. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I
Like,
agree.
I hate makeup calls.
Yeah.
Even as a Knicks fan, like when it happens from a Knicks, do I cheer? Yeah, I do a little cheer, but at the same time, I'm like, I just don't like it.
Right. I get it.
Because it's not like it's a Thanos thing and you have to do a snap and
Right.
everything needs to be in balance. Like, just make it better. Like, do better. Don't balance
Wow.
it out by potentially screwing over a team later on in the game. Because you don't you want me to tell you when you will never see a makeup call occur?
Hmm.
The last 5 minutes of a game. Tell me I'm wrong.
True. No, you're absolutely
You'll
right.
never see a makeup call last 5 minutes of the game. So why would you do it in
I,
the first quarter? Why would you do it in the second quarter?
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure why you would do that. I think ultimately at this point, it's one of those situations where if they just do it right all year,
Mm-hmm.
we'll be good.
We'll be good.
All year.
No one would
All
complain
year.
about it. No one would complain about it.
Not at all. No one. Just keep it consistent all year long,
Till
and
this
we're
day.
good.
To this
To this
day.
to this day. That's
I've
all
been
we
having
need.
so much fun with that meme, though.
Yeah, yeah, you have actually. You have. But yeah, that's ultimately it, though. Honestly, I mean, if they just keep it consistent, I don't see any issues coming up if they just keep it consistent.
Absolutely.
And I don't know what needs to happen in order for that to happen, but
I
yeah,
don't know.
they
I
were
mean,
able
a
to.
lot of people said
Yeah.
they need, cameras, around the court that'll help out.
Hmm.
Who knows? I think that's going to lead to more issues because, now it's going to be based off of someone's opinion about what they're seeing. They said to get
Right.
another referee. That might cause some issues because the issue with just referees in general, and Ronnie Nunn said this too, and I didn't think about it this way because I
Hmm.
was never a referee, but he said it the best. It's all about positioning for these referees. And 9 out
That's
of 10
true.
chances is those referees are not in the right position to make the call, but they still make the call.
Right. And that's unacceptable.
That's unacceptable. If you're out of
Yeah.
position and you can't, make that determination that you're 99% sure that this violation occurred, don't call it.
Don't call it.
Don't call it. Don't
Do
call
not
it.
call it.
And of course, the
I
last one is
agree.
instant replays, which A, it's going to slow down the game tremendously.
Yeah, we
B,
don't want that.
every single call is going to have to be reviewed.
Hmm.
Or if they put some stipulation to be like the last 2 minutes of the half.
But then referees are gonna be like, "Oh, we should take a look at that for
Exactly.
it's
You,
way
you
too
see
much,
it exactly. Because we have the same issues right now with
way too
football.
much,
We have the issue right now
way
with
too
football.
much."
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't want that.
But I'm looking forward to tonight's game. They're back in Oracle in Oakland. The
Mm-hmm.
Warriors are riding this 1 game winning streak against the Raptors. They're
Mm.
banged up, so that means the supporting cast is going to have to step up. DeMarcus Cousins played, and, luckily people were talking about this, but DeMarcus Cousins had an incredible game.
He did.
He had an incredible
Yeah,
game, ladies and gentlemen.
he absolutely did. He
Like,
absolutely did. I agree wholeheartedly.
he had
Um.
an incredible game. Steph, had a game. He had a game. Like, there's nothing you can really say there.
Mm-hmm.
And Draymond Green bounced back.
Oh yeah, he did.
Like,
He did.
literally, they were the best players on the court. like plus
Beast.
minus, they were the best Warriors on the court. Those three were all plus 12 and plus minuses.
And Draymond, I know he had the triple double the first game, and my brother actually said that Draymond might end up getting the MVP out here for this. If they were to win, he could see him
It
getting the
wouldn't
MVP.
be the first time Draymond would be in the running for MVP for the finals.
Hmm.
Like we all said
That's
that
true.
Draymond is a special. The way that the game played now, Draymond is a special player.
That's true. It's true. That's absolute facts.
If it was 10 years ago, people would be calling Draymond Green trash.
That's tough.
Talk
You're
to me.
making it tough.
Talk to
You're
me.
making it tough.
Talk to me. Talk to
You're
me.
doing that thing again where you're making it tough. You said how many years ago?
10 years ago.
I don't know. 30 maybe.
Third, 20.
Hmm. 20
So
years
we're
ago?
talking this is late 90s.
No. No, 20 years ago would be 2000,
Yeah,
pretty much.
that's late 90s. So 99 towards 2000. Yes, exactly.
No, it pretty much would be 2000. I don't think so because I mean, let's say Vince Carter been in the league for what, 22, 23
22
years?
years. Yes.
You're saying Draymond playing in an era with young Vince Carter would have been trash?
Draymond would have. You're gonna laugh when I say
30.
this
That's why
now.
I said
You're
30.
gonna you're
That's
gonna
why I'm
laugh.
saying 30
You're
years.
gonna laugh when I say this. If
Oh
Draymond
Lord.
played with a young Vince Carter would have dunked him out of the league.
Wow. I don't know about that. I don't think Draymond would have
We're
accepted that.
talking about
Dray,
we're talking
Draymond would have
about
been able to hit him too.
like I got stuff in my head. Vince Carter dunking angry all the no. And I know we're only focused on Vince Carter because of course I don't know if you have that as fun but I'll talk about it if you don't have but
I
like
don't.
people's careers didn't turn out the same after you get dunked on back then.
True.
Like you have to be
That's
like Matumbo, Theo Ratliff type of player, who just doesn't care to get over that. I
that's
don't think Draymond could mentally get over getting yammed on
You
back
mean
in his
now
early
or
2000s, back
oh
in the
back in
early
the okay?
2000s, and even in the 90s.
Because
Because
I
you
mean that
get
don't.
yammed on like how Pippen yammed on my boy Ewing,
Well, that's
and
what I
then
was saying.
pushed
Because
him
I mean,
afterwards. Like,
because Draymond got dunked on by James Harden pretty rough too.
yeah, but they're not gonna like. He's not gonna get up or and try to throw hands at him. Like we're talking about people would sit there and try to throw hands at each other.
I don't think they.
I
I mean,
honestly can't.
99,
I
2000.
can't see Doug Christie.
Yeah, that was something different. Doug
I
Christie is something
know.
different.
I
That's something
know.
way different. Way different.
I know, but it's hilarious though.
No, it is hilarious. Um, I don't know. I can see what you're saying though. I can see what you're saying. I really can. But I don't know. I don't. I think it would have to be 30 years. 30 years ago, maybe.
So
But
we're
then again, like
looking what? That's 1990s, so beginning of the Jordan era.
right. Like I think at that time, you know, I don't know if he would have been as effective as he is now because
Mm.
they didn't play that style. So he has this running style, unless he played for like, that during that Suns period and he was with Mike D'Antoni. You
Yeah,
know what
but
I mean?
that's 2005.
So then he has no shot. He got nothing. He would have been trashed 30 years ago. 30 years ago, he would have been irrelevant. But right now, in this particular Warrior system,
Yeah, I'm like
I mean, the guy,
that's like 15 years ago right there with D'Antoni.
it felt like it was in the 90s, but I mean, I guess I
Really
don't know.
wasn't.
It
It
really
really
did.
wasn't.
It felt like the 90s.
No, no.
Wow. Wow. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that it's one of them situations. I think Draymond is definitely somebody who's a great contributor to this team, and I
Yes.
really just hope that they continue to, I guess, grow together. I mean, that's all I can really, you know, hope for them.
Well, and that honestly is the hope. Like, will
Yeah,
they stay together? But we shouldn't care about that right now because they're still playing in the finals.
sure. They're still playing in the finals.
So we
They
shouldn't
are.
be talking about what's gonna happen after the finals when streamers haven't gone down to this from the Raptors and no one is screaming anything is possible.
Wow.
Shout out to
Is
Kevin
that what they're
Garnett.
doing?
Garnett. That was Kevin
Is that what
Garnett.
they're doing these days?
It was no. The last. I was gonna go into a rant on the preview. So like before they start the finals, like the little, they showing all the past champion stuff. I
Hmm.
was gonna go into a mini tangent about how they had to show a longer clip of LeBron James, but then I realized it was real Roman-esque, so I decided not to go with it
Hmm. I know you like Roman.
because I'm like, wait, there was so many more iconic moments. You're really gonna spend so much more time on this one? Are you serious?
Yeah, man.
Like
I
they
don't
even
know.
like they even cut off the video of Magic Johnson doing the back to back. Yeah, yeah.
Back, back,
Like
yeah.
they just showed him going towards the camera. They cut it off, but they kept the audio.
Wow.
Why?
I don't know.
Like heck, they
That's
could have
rough.
showed Pat Riley saying, "And then next year we're gonna do it again."
Wow.
Like iconic moments. Rudy
I
T.
get Rudy T.
Like there's so many iconic moments, but you chose to just focus on that one. And it dawned on me when I first was gonna go on the tangent around game one, and I realized that it's catering to the casual fans, and they only have knowledge of about the last 5 years. So it makes
Right.
sense.
It does. It does. Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
So I went from
Absolutely.
about to lose my cool to okay, I understand, and we'll just move on.
I get it. I get it wholeheartedly. I think I think it's just one of those things that we have to realize who we're dealing with. And that's why I said, nobody's going to call out, let's say, a media outlet for doing a certain thing because it's kind of what we expect. So it's like when you see those kind of things, you almost should just expect it.
Protected, yes.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I look
Speaking
at it.
of which, and we had this conversation yesterday, but I think we could talk about this right now. That
Mhm.
stupid Stevens A list,
The crossover one.
the crossover one. Are you serious?
Again, I think, and you said this, everybody on the list, of course, is going to think that their crossover is the best.
Of course.
It's natural that you would feel that way.
It's
My
point
crossover is the
guards with
yeah, my crossover
handles.
yeah, my crossover is the best. And I don't care what anybody says. My crossover is the best.
Like
Oh, Iverson.
you could go to any court in New York City and say
Hmm,
who has the best crossover ever. Everyone's gonna say
that
me.
right. You're right. Absolutely right. Without question.
Like handles, yes, we can have an argument about that.
Hmm.
But crossovers? Are you serious?
Hmm.
Like, are we talking about one particular crossover? Are we talking about a career crossovers? Like, there is no parameter there
I agree.
because
I don't know.
they
Well,
had
what did
Tim
he say?
Hardaway
Like, how did he get to first? Tell the people how he got to the like. Why did he even bring this up? Like,
because
what was
he
it?
just wanted to do a random list because he had Tim Hardaway Jr., Tim Hardaway Sr. on the show.
So Tim Hardaway Sr. was on the show. He says, your crossover was really good.
No,
We should.
no, he always does a segment where
Hmm.
he would provide a top five according to him
Okay.
of whatever he wants to do. And it just so
Interesting.
happened the fact that they were in Oakland
Okay.
and they had the T of Run TMC there on the show.
Wow.
he decided to do the top 5 crossovers.
That's actually pretty hilarious, actually.
And you want me to tell you what Tim Hardaway Sr. did when uh, he was asked, do you agree with the list or not? You know, let me tell you what he did. He said,
What's that?
I have one change to make, and he moved everyone else down one, and then put him at number 1.
I mean, you can't blame him, right?
Exactly. I'm like, that's the point. Like, you can't judge a crossover because everyone's going to think that they have the best crossover. I know I don't have the best crossover because I'm not a crossover person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll slash straight to the rim on you.
I get it.
So,
Makes
like,
sense.
today, his list was his top 5 NBA players.
Mm-hmm.
He put Kawhi at 3, LeBron at 2, and KD at 1.
No James Harden.
James Harden is not on the list. Giannis is
You
not on
know,
that list.
I already have a problem. I mean, I don't care about Giannis. I have a problem, with James Harden not being on the list. That's my big issue there.
Like, James Harden should be on that list.
He
LeBron
should
James
be.
shouldn't be number 2. I would honestly put either James Harden or Kawhi at number 2.
Right.
Once again, I've been saying this about Kawhi for the past 3 years. This has not changed, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
I have been
You
very
have.
consistent about this. I said he's the
Yeah,
number
yeah.
2 player in the league, and KD is number 1.
You definitely have. I can. I can support that statement. You have been extremely high on
Kawhi.
Kawhi.
It just so happened it rhymed.
Yes, and I can't say anything about that. You have been. There's no question about it. But I don't know
So
what Stephen A. is smoking, so I don't know.
so he had
Um,
Steph at number 5, Anthony Davis at number 4, then Kawhi, LeBron, and KD.
hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Stephen A. Smith,
Uh,
you suck.
yeah, I'm not
to,
100%
to,
sure
to, to
what
channel my inner Mike Ross, you suck.
wow. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what was going through his mind when you know, when he thought about this.
He
Um,
wasn't thinking about it. He just decided to talk out of his anus.
yeah, I'm not 100% sure. That it doesn't make sense. I can't even. Yeah, I can't even fathom what he was thinking. And this is me being honest. I don't know what the heck is going on.
I'm like, he's
The
he honestly is about
crossover,
to start like pissing off a lot of old school players. By the way,
unless that's the point, I mean, unless that's the whole point, and that's why it's like hard to get into those conversations because it's like maybe that's the whole point. It's just to make people mad. You're not really thinking about the question. You're thinking about the absolute gall that he would even put his pen to paper, lips to microphone, and even fix his lips to even say that these people have the best crossovers or that these people are better than certain other people. James
well,
Harden in
and
particular.
honestly, and we talked about this too. I don't care about the crossover list. I felt like the
Hmm.
crossover list was a negligent conversation to have. Because if you're gonna do a
Right.
crossover list, then you should do the top 5 crossovers moments instead of
Hmm.
crossovers. Now, as far as the
Hmm.
5 best players, I need to find out
Right.
what your parameters are. Because if you're saying the top 5 players as of right now, then we need to do it based off of this season.
Hmm. Gotcha. Makes sense.
Because we're talking about right now.
We are.
Because
We are.
I want you to guess, and I know what you're gonna say already. Guess what was the accolades that Stephen A. Smith threw out there for LeBron James? I just want you to guess.
Probably the fact that he was able to, to wear and take off his headband in a game.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. I saw what you did there too. I was like, wow, I can't believe he said that.
No, it probably was the 19 NBA Finals
Ex-
playoffs and all that stuff
exactly.
that he did
Exactly.
back.
That's exactly what it
Uh,
was. That's exactly what it was. In fact,
but
that was the very same argument that he made about why KD wasn't the best player in the NBA.
hmm,
Imagine how things come full circle, folks. Not even 12 months ago, he was still going on and on about LeBron James being the best player in the world. LeBron James
right.
made it to 8 straight finals. That's the reason why he's the best
Hmm.
player in the world. See, this is why we don't say things like that on national television because people are going to remember that thing.
Right.
That's why people are very. We had issues of people digging up tweets from like 2012 when they said blah 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 blah.
Hmm.
But you have to
Yeah, I'm
mind your
not
words because you're using the same argument a year ago that you're using this
right.
year to put down another player.
And I'm really not 100% sure what he was talking about. If I'm being honest, I don't know what he's talking about. He's making stuff up as he goes along, obviously, but like I really don't even know how he could even, again, fix his lips to even start to say anything like that.
That's actually pretty funny.
Like I really don't even know. You're just making stuff up as you go along, sir. Again, that's what he gets paid to do. So I don't give him any slack for it because that's ultimately how he's based his entire career just by, flapping his gums and doing his best to make people angry, basically.
Well, he needs to stop it. Anywho, let's forget about that pissant of the century.
We never even got to game two.
No, no, we talked about game two because we was talking about the
I mean,
referees and stuff like that.
gotcha.
Yeah,
Referees.
yeah. We're talking about
Okay.
tonight on Debate Amongst Friends. No, tonight
Oh
on
Lord.
Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Sir, who you got and why?
I mean, I'm gonna go with the Raptors
Ooh,
simply because of the injuries. If Clay, and this is just based on Clay not playing, I think they're going to sit him. Honestly, I don't think they should play him. I think it would be a mistake to play him. Um, I feel like he has more game to play in the future. Like this game here is their first game at home. Let him rest this game. If they happen to lose, at least you'll have him healthy for the next game at home. So it's not like you're, really missing out on anything. You're kind of just giving yourself an opportunity. And it's not like so Clay is such. I'm worried more about Clay on the defensive end than the offensive end. I'm still going to Raptors either way, but I feel like they should rest Clay. That's my main point. They should rest Clay at all costs.
I can understand that. So I don't know if you remember this. So like the very next day after Game 2, we was having a conversation about the game, and I said one thing. I said this was the Warriors' desperation heave to try to win this game
Mm-hmm.
because they really couldn't score in like the last 5 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think yeah, they finally didn't score until Iggy hit that clutch three shot.
Right.
That apparently was disrespectful to him and the entire Warriors organization.
Oh, right. Right.
I feel like if they have to play a game where they're desperate to try to make baskets because the Raptors defense is going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they have to do that, the Raptors will win this game. But I'm going with the Warriors for this one
Hmm. Even with
because
now, is this barring injuries or?
No, this is Clay not even playing at all. I feel like the Warriors can steal this game tonight. Only because, just like how the Raptors rode on that emotion of the hometown crowd in game one, the Warriors are going to do the same thing to will themselves to a game three win.
Hmm.
Now, I'm
Interesting.
making it known right now. I said the Warriors are going to win, but I want the
You
Raptors
did.
to really win.
And I said that off the stream last week, so I
Yes.
definitely understand. I
I
said the
really want
same
the
exact.
Raptors to win, but that that Oracle crowd though can energize that Warriors team something fierce. And Steph
Mm,
Curry plays crazy better at home than he does on the road.
that's facts.
Like you talk about someone
That's,
being dangerous at home.
yeah, that's facts. You're right. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. We're definitely gonna see what happens. I'm gonna go with the Raptors, though. I think them losing back to back. I doubt it happens. They don't have to worry about you know Drake or anything like that. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, and I'm getting updates on the Twitter account. Mark J. Spears is saying that Steve Kerr is not allowing Clay to determine whether or not he'll play tonight for Game Three. So he's still
Hmm.
questionable. And right now, as of 5 minutes ago, Steve Kerr says that Clay Thompson is a game time decision.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We will
Yeah.
see. Like I said, I'm trying to
We
get
we
on this stuff.
shall. I mean, again, I feel like we're gonna get another good game where the Warriors are going to miss Klay Thompson is on the defensive end,
Yes. Yes.
and that's where I feel like you're gonna see the hurting. It's like and this is the type of game where Draymond might get into some foul trouble.
This is true
You
too, and
know.
this is why we keep using the term parameters because
Hmm.
there's so much that can happen
Right.
that is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I just feel like this might be one of those games where it's like, we're gonna see something interesting happen. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if they pull out this win.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. It's gonna be awesome with a capital A.
Like either way, it's gonna be an awesome game. Either way, like
Yeah,
I would not be
yeah, yeah.
disappointed no matter what. Once
Absolutely.
again, if the refs are the main determination about who wins this game, I'm gonna be pissed.
Right.
I made that known a long time ago. That if they're the main key component, because think about it like this:
Hmm.
if Draymond end up getting into foul trouble because of stupid fouls, we
Hmm.
can get over that because that happens.
It
But if
does.
Draymond get into foul trouble because the referees are calling, stupid fouls that isn't really
Tick tick
occurring,
fouls.
like phantom calls, then I'm gonna be
Hmm.
pissed about that. Like now you're
I
impacting the game.
understand.
Now you have Dub Nation trying to say, "Oh, we're getting Sacramento'd."
Oh, yeah, yeah. I get it.
All it takes is
100.
that, especially at home. All it takes is that, and then here comes the conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
That's why we're so adamant about let's just call the game straight. Just call it
Yeah.
straight. That's it.
That's all we want.
That's all we want. That's all we
That's
want.
all we
That's
want.
it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that was everything for the finals.
Yeah. And we didn't even get a chance to really talk about Kawhi too much.
No.
But I think we know what to expect from Kawhi. And I think my brother, he mentioned, Kawhi's hamstring or quad might be hurting a little bit. Um, but yeah, I just think that this is one of them situations where, we just have to monitor everything that's going on as analysts, not as anything else,
Hmm.
but just as analysts. And we really just have to go out there and just look at it objectively with no predetermined feelings or anything else. We just go out there, we watch the game, and that's it.
Absolutely. I mean, granted, neither of us have a real dog in this race, so
Nope. Yeah, you already know where my dog lies.
lies out here in the great state of Texas.
That's right. That's right.
Him and his
That's right.
Mavericks. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm
Oh
joking. I'm
wow.
joking.
Oh, Justin Wong. Wow. I can't believe you went there.
But I didn't know if you had a chance to watch this, and we're gonna get into final thoughts in a second. But did you watch
hmm
the Anthony Joshua fight, or at least watch the highlights for
I
it?
I did not. Only thing I seen was the memes and the Homer Simpson thing, and uh, the Simpsons did it again. I saw that, but I did not watch the fight. I read about it, and I think we talked about it last week about guys who, I think it was either last week or the week before last, who people want to see get knocked out.
Yep.
Um, I just know that the amount of love for bigger guys, husky guys, was like in full effect because people were like between Thor
Yep.
and this boxer here. It's like you don't have to go to the gym at all anymore,
No.
fellas.
Quite literally, people were saying that as soon as the match ended.
And that's crazy.
As soon as the match ended, that's exactly what all you was reading all over social. Even the analysts were saying this. The
That's so
analysts
funny.
were saying this. Like,
Yeah, that's
it's
hilarious, man.
crazy.
Yeah, it's
Like,
really
you
funny.
gotta be kidding me.
Mm-mm-mm. That's really funny though. But yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch it, but
Although I will say this though, Teddy Atlas post fight analysis on
hmm
ESPN, you need to watch that. Like,
okay,
if you want to get into boxing and really want to love it, watch how Teddy Atlas break down this match.
I'm gonna check it out.
Like that,
That
that
right there
is
is the
what
greatest
that's what
thing.
we want.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Not no, well, he's the best player in the world.
Wow, you're really gonna go there, huh?
Where's your parameters with that? Like, why would you say that?
Wow, you really just went there,
Yes, like
huh?
that's how you put through a post game analysis. You
Wow,
break
I
it
can't.
down, and even I put out there on Facebook. It's amazing, and he kept referencing breaking windows, which is
hmm
talking about Joshua isn't necessarily getting into a stance that allow him to properly defend Ruiz, who is shorter than him.
hmm
So Ruiz is basically just going upstairs and just breaking down those windows, or as you like to say, breaking the
mm
walls down. Like,
Break
watch the
the
post
wall
fight,
down.
video of Teddy Atlas. In fact,
Okay, I'm
I might
checking
put
out.
that out there on Debate Amongst Friends social media. It's that good. Like that will
Wow,
get you into boxing.
wow,
Like, it was so hype. I started shadow boxing after that. I'm like, that's boxing, ladies and gentlemen. That is boxing.
wow. Here's a guy.
Here's a guy.
Wow, that's so funny. I feel you though.
But
I get it. I really do.
so I'm so happy that you mentioned the Simpsons meme, and people are saying that you don't need to go to the gym anymore because as long as you can hit what was it that my dude said in WWE, a guy with two hands have a fighting chance. Like, that's pretty much
Right.
the summary of what people are really saying. and not
Right.
really giving the proper respect to Andy Ruiz Jr., who is the current um, IBF, WBA, and WBO champion.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen A. Smith, and this goes back to my rant with him because once again he's opening his mouth and saying the wrong things, borderline
Mm.
on racist comments.
Yikes.
Because he called Andy Ruiz Jr. Butterbean.
Wow. Really?
Yes. And no
Yikes.
one's talking about that. We're just gonna act like that never existed.
That never happened. Wow.
But the other thing I want to talk about, speaking of social media, because of course the internet always wins, because the internet
Mm-hmm.
justice society of the world.
Mm-hmm.
People were just dogging on Anthony Joshua. Like,
Well,
they were just getting
yeah.
over him.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, and again, that goes back to what we talked about last week. People e- expecting you to come out and win or come out and play hard. You didn't. We already wanted to see you lose. You did. And we're going to let you know how we feel about you. We're going to let you know. We're going to make sure that you're aware, without a shadow of a doubt,
Shadow of a doubt.
that we want you to know exactly how we think and what we think of you after that terrible, and the doc means terrible, performance.
No, because Ruiz was 11-1 odds to defeat Joshua.
But Joshua,
Like people
in
people
people's
people were
minds, were
not
the
betting on Ruiz. Like
right,
a really
exactly,
small population of people, like really
right.
really small, betted
Betting
on
wise,
Ruiz
absolutely,
Jr.
absolutely. Betting wise,
The
absolutely. It's
casual
kind of
fans who betted
it's
on
kind of
this
similar
match.
though. It's kind of similar to what we're talking about with the Warriors and Raptors though. It's the same thing. Like, we are betting on the Warriors, but we really want the Raptors to win. You understand? You know, and that, but when you listen to it out loud, it's the dumbest thing you ever heard, because
Ah.
you're betting money on a team to win,
Mhm.
but your heart wants the other person to win. It's
Which,
crazy.
debate
It's the
amongst friends,
damnedest
don't
thing.
don't 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 condone on gambling, and if you do, make sure you do it responsibly. And yes, it is definitely very very addictive, and you make sure that you keep all your financial affairs in order if you decide to do that as well too. That is your public service announcement for debate amongst friends.
I agree with everything.
Figure, let me put that out
Yeah.
there for saying, the doc said, as long as we put our heart in the team that we want to win, we can just drop money in there. No,
No.
no.
I don't think he said that.
Yeah, but you know how people like to read between the lines, even though those lines are just so narrow that there is no line there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the
But
one
yeah.
thing that I wanted to just speak on, and we get to find the thoughts after that, was the amount of class that Anthony Joshua had after his
Yeah.
defeat.
True.
Like, it was class personified. Like, because the way that the fight ended, and I didn't know if you saw how the fight ended, where it was a standing
I
TKO.
Because the ref.
It was a ref stoppage. Yes.
Right.
Like any other fighter, they would have been salty. And you know what? I wouldn't blame them. But
Well,
Anthony Joshua took it in the chin, literally, and he congratulated him. Like, he's saying that this isn't about me. This is about Ruiz. This is his night.
I mean, he got knocked down 4 times, is my understanding, right?
He did get knocked down 4 times, absolutely.
So I mean,
But
what is there
normally
really
it's
to?
but normally it's a 3-down knockout. But it wasn't that way. Like, if it was a
He let
3-down
it go.
knockout, then the match would have been over already, and the ref wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have sat there and counted him down. Don't count
Mm-hmm.
me down. Nobody counts. Oh, Stone. Wait, sorry. But it would have just been an automatic TKO victory for Ruiz if it was like a set amount of knockdowns. But it wasn't.
Right. So that's why I don't understand how he can even be mad.
Well, I mean, because the ref stopped it, and he felt he could still keep on going.
Well, doesn't every boxer feel like they can keep on going?
Even the ones that got knocked out, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean every boxer. I mean Rocky, they had to cut him.
Mm. Cut me, boy. Cut me.
I mean, literally throw in the damn towel.
Throw that damn towel.
Yeah, like come on.
He
Every boxer
does.
feels
He
like they can keep
does.
going. That's the referee's job is to protect said boxer from himself, really.
Till this day. Till this day.
Yeah, that's the job of the referee is to protect the boxer and make sure that, it's really not anything more but than to protect him from himself.
Oh my gosh, this tweet is so funny. I have to say it out loud. Someone
Uh,
tweeted, "If Klay Thompson is out, how are the Warriors supposed to win with checks the roster? Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, and DeMarcus Cousins." The sarcasm
uh,
is real.
yeah,
The sarcasm is real. They said that
yes.
Klay Thompson is going through warm-ups before Game 3. That is as of a minute ago.
He shouldn't. He should be sitting down, resting, and icing like I'm about to do once the show is over.
Like, I don't even think I want to read most of these tweets because a lot of them are real hurtful on Klay.
Which it was funny because again, my brother again, he said Clay really can't dribble. I never noticed, but he said that Clay can't dribble. Have
He
you
can't.
noticed Clay?
He can't dribble.
That,
No.
that's actually pretty funny.
No, which is why people were asking, and I don't even think we actually talked about this because we wasn't going to talk about his free agency, but how is he going to lead a team if he has trouble making his own shot?
Well, he's really more of a 19. Now he's a 90s player. He's a player that in the 90s would have been fine because you had a lot of players who were just running around and shooting, and it was
Absolutely.
fine. But since we're in such a time period where dribbling is over, it's yeah. I don't want to say it's overemphasized, but I mean dribbling is a pretty big deal.
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
yes, anything else you want to talk about with the Joshua Ruiz fight, sir?
Um. No, I think, like I said, I mean, you can't fault the referee for shutting down the studio because that's his job.
It is his job. It is his job.
I mean, that's his job. I mean,
But I mean, like
listen,
he would have been more outspoken about the referee shouldn't have ended the fight. I'm upset about that. Not necessarily like getting into the rest phase. Trying to
mhm.
pull a Rodman and attempting to deck him kind of thing.
Wow. I mean, again, here's a guy who, if you got knocked down once, right? He got knocked down a second time.
hmm
Okay, it's a third time. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Four times, bro. You're done, son.
There's been
You're
moments.
done.
There's been moments though.
I mean, I'm sure.
I mean, don't forget. I mean, Rocky ended the Cold War by himself.
Right. Right. Right.
Because if I can change, and you can
Uh,
change, and we all can change.
wow. Clapping before he can finish.
I
wow.
think we need to go to final thoughts. Ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen, we're at in game where we talk about final thoughts that we didn't have
Lord.
time to talk about tonight, but we want to leave you with these tidbits and have you thinking the rest of the week. And as always, we're gonna start off with the reigning, defending, undisputed podcast champion that doesn't need a boombox to water
Wow.
dry. Doc Lester. What you got, sir?
Well, I have just a few final thoughts. Hopefully, I don't steal any of yours. I mean, I know
That's
I'm
fine.
notorious for that,
No, no,
but
no. Wait, we can't do that either. That would
no,
be
you don't do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Definitely wanted to touch on a little bit of baseball as we had the MLB draft. I think it was last night. Yeah, last night.
I don't know.
Where,
I mean, I'm over here. It looks like summertime, but I'm still looking for October.
you know, I stopped looking for October a very long time ago. Because October is a pissant month.
Wow.
But Oregon State's Adley Rushman, the center, excuse me, wow, I'm
The
so
what?
sorry. I was going to say center fielder, but I had to
Okay.
catch myself. He's a catcher, excuse me. Catcher out of Oregon State. I was like center field. Oh, catcher. This is why we need October, but that's okay. That's okay. Catcher out of Oregon State, 4 year. He was in his fourth year. Got drafted by the Baltimore Orioles. And that's pretty cool. I mean, I think the baseball draft has always been kind of weird because it's in the middle of the season. I never really understood it. Um, because everything else is, typically in the off season.
Yep.
Um, but baseball kind of falls in line with almost waiting till kids graduate from college or like
That's
when they're
exactly
supposed to
what it
graduate
is.
from college or high school in some situations
Yep.
because
That's
I
exactly what
do
it
see
is.
that I see the second round, I mean, the second pick overall, Bobby Witt Jr. just graduated from high school.
Yep.
A lot of other players, which actually it's a pretty mixed group with the top 10 half and half, actually 4 year, 3 year college experience. A lot of high school players, a lot of people from Texas too, I see here
Yes.
as
Texas
well.
is actually pretty big on baseball too.
And that's pretty cool. I mean, Texas is pretty big on practically everything, but
This is
that's
true.
neither here.
I mean, that's why we're trying to get the doc to live out here so he can cover all the sports.
I mean, don't you be tearing my old Space Mountain down.
I never tear it down. I only build it up.
That's it. Yesterday, some WNBA news. You had the Sparks beating the Liberty 78-73, and then the Storm beating the Lynx 84-77. Right now, we have the Mystics and the Sky at halftime 57-42. Mystics are up. Definitely want to still try to push those WNBA games. Hopefully, I can find a WNBA enthusiast, someone who just watches and is addicted to the game that we can bring on the show. If you or someone you know loves the WNBA, I would love for them to be on the show.
I wouldn't be against that as well too. Also, to piggyback on your WNBA news with the Liberty, Tina
Mm-hmm.
Charles
Mm-hmm.
is during that game after scoring a layup became the New York Liberty's all-time franchise leading scorer.
That's amazing. That's the kind of stuff we need to know. That's the kind of stuff that needs to be pushed.
Absolutely.
Like it needs to be more people need to know about that. And that's all I got to say about that. Now, my last final thought, and again, hopefully I don't steal. I'm not trying to be a Stoli. Is the Lakers hiring Lionel Hollins? You're making a shocked emoji face right now.
Oh, don't worry. You'll understand why I yeah. Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Oh my God. I can't believe you just sent me that. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe you just sent me that.
I can't believe I
It's not
saw
even
that.
it's really not even that bad. So everybody's getting hurt. I feel like this is just building them a little bit more character and a little bit more, reasons to say that they're a great team and all that other stuff. It's just giving people more ammunition. The
Okay, so
Lakers.
according to Warriors owner Joe Lacob, Klay Thompson will not
Uh,
play tonight. That's
dang,
from Adam Silverstein.
I feel him. Lakers hire Lionel Hollins as assistant head coach, who'll be joining Frank Vogel. I know you had some interesting comments about Frank Vogel being the new coach.
Well, the only comments that I made about that was, is he really there to be the coach, or is he just there until they put the person that they want?
Do they want Lionel Hollins or who do they
No,
want? Who do you think they want?
no,
Ty,
no.
Ty
They
Lue?
wanted Jason Kidd.
I mean, why not just go out there and get Jay Kidd then?
It's the Lakers we're talking about. It's the Lakers we're talking about. They don't make any sense. They
I mean,
honestly, like, this is no trolling. They make 0 sense.
I'm just saying. I mean, if you want him, I mean, I say why play around with it? Just do it expeditiously.
I mean, don't play with your food.
I mean, they smoke crack, don't they? Sorry, that was Joe Clark. I was going. You didn't catch it. You
No,
didn't
I
catch it.
got it.
Okay. Yeah. If they're gonna do it, but do it expeditiously. I mean, why not just hire the person they want? I mean, maybe they really wanted Frank Vogel.
They really don't.
I
And
mean, why
anyone
not?
anyone who believes otherwise, I don't know what to say for you. Like, it's really hard to really honestly think that.
Why?
I don't think he's the kind of
Oh,
coach that can survive in LA.
really?
Yeah.
Is it
No,
because he was
honestly.
an Indiana coach
Well, he was also
and
the
he,
Grizzly coach too,
small
I believe.
small market coach? You think?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? He's just a small market. He's just a small market guy living in a
Well,
small
I
market
don't think we should do that
world.
either, actually.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm
I
trying
mean,
to
and he's
understand why
from New
you're.
Jersey, but I can't. I don't. I can't. I
Yes,
honestly
you
can't.
can. Yes, you can.
I can't.
Come on.
But we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward.
Maybe.
I will want to see him make me eat my words. I'll be happy if he make
I
me eat my
mean,
words, honestly.
the Pacers weren't a bad team under Vogel. I just think it's one of them situations where the voice ran out. You know, I read this about Larry Brown. You kind of hear it about a lot of coaches. You know, your voice just runs out. People get tired of hearing it, and it's like it's just you just need a new voice. Kind of like what I've been saying about Marvin Lewis for 19 years.
I can agree with that.
Just saying. Just saying.
I can agree with that.
But I mean, we're gonna see what happens. You know.
Well, as more stuff goes along, we'll make sure to let everyone know what happens.
I mean, that's all we can really do. I mean, he's the coach. Hopefully, Mike D'Antoni doesn't get fired within the next day or so.
No, he's gonna live out the rest of that contract. Next
I'm
year,
not
depending on
sure.
what happens next year, he won't be the coach for the 2021-22 season.
Well, my thing is, I mean, you're talking about. Here's a guy who they fired the whole coaching staff.
Yeah,
His coaching staff, the whole, not all of them. I mean, they even got rid of the video guy.
yeah,
The video guy.
I know.
Who gets rid of the video guy, bro? Who
The
does that?
Patriots.
Wow. Well, Wow.
You got the joke now.
Wow. That's so. That's just so unacceptable.
Oh, he was
That's
like, he
that's
was gonna try to disregard it. He was like, oh.
wow. That's just ugh. I can't believe you did that in the show. Oh God. In the show.
Oh.
In the show. Oh my
Oh.
God.
Shout out to
Wow,
Spygate.
not the Patriots. Oh my God. Patriots fans are going crazy right now.
Hey, I'm channeling my inner Stephen A. Smith. Any other
Wow.
final thoughts for you, sir?
No. Oh my God. I can't believe you said that. The Patriots fire their video person. Oh wow. Here's
Well,
a
my
guy.
first final thought: former wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers, Jordy Nelson, will sign a one-day deal in order for him to retire. Who he did not that he's planning on retiring. He's
Hmm.
planning on retiring as a Packer.
Mm.
So that's actually pretty good. And one other thing that happened too that I just found out today was Navarro Bowman is going to be doing the same thing. That he is
Yes,
planning
I
to
did.
retire as a 49er.
I did see that.
And both of them had really good careers. Unfortunately, Jordy's got cut short with the injury, but
Hmm.
he was a heck of a receiver.
He was. He was. He definitely was. That injury
Also,
really tore him up.
it really did. Like when you
Yeah,
keep
it
hearing
did.
people say that injuries can change so much, like they really mean it.
Yeah, they
You
do.
either become better or it hurts. Like you never become the same again. Speaking
And
of
that's why I hope
retirements
that.
too. Go ahead.
What's that?
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm hoping that you know I don't want to get into Bucks talk. Just forget it. Just forget it. Just
Because
forget
I
it.
knew
It's
you was gonna go about your Bucks for a second. I was like, let
yeah.
me
I
go
don't
to
want
that
to do
room.
that. I don't want to do that. I
But
don't want to.
speaking of retirement, Vince Carter, aka VC, aka Half Man Half Amazing, announced that after next season, he will be hanging up his kicks and ending his professional basketball career in the National Basketball Association.
Wow.
Talk about legacies, all star slam dunk competition champion, Olympic gold medalist, of course, with the iconic dunk.
Wow.
I believe he was the top scorer all time for the Nets as well. If not top scorer,
Yes.
then he's
Yeah. Top.
definitely the top for 3 pointers made.
Yes. Which shout out to Vince Carter for being able to, and we've seen it before, but being able to change his game and adapt to just not being a dunker.
Exactly.
Kind of like Grandmama did, all those years ago. Because Grandmama was a huge dunker.
Absolutely. He really has. I mean, we think of players who just couldn't get away from that.
Right.
Like Sean Kemp.
Right. Sean Kemp could not. Kind of wound up
Josh
hurting his
Smith.
back, and you said Josh who?
Josh Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know exactly which Josh Smith you're talking about.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I went there.
Um, yeah, that was kind of ridiculous. What's his name? Dang, I just had a chill. Was it Childress? No.
Josh
What was
Childress
that
did
guy's
not
name with
shoot.
the
Yeah, Josh
fro?
Childress. Yeah, Josh
It was
Childress.
Josh Childress.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because he is the one
he
with
never
that
developed.
disgusting free throw style.
Yes, he never developed any outside game either. He was just a
No.
dunker also. I think one final thought I actually forgot about was Gerald McCoy. I don't know if you had that on your list, but
I did. It was your Bucks.
yeah,
Anything with your, I am not gonna touch because that's your team.
Yeah. Well, he's not a Buck anymore now. He's
I
a
know.
Panther,
I
which
know.
I felt was just that's so disrespectful to me. I didn't like it. I think that's classless, tasteless, all kinds of lists.
Wow.
And I'm just so disappointed in him. Honestly, I can't even lie to you.
Wow.
I'm just so disappointed.
Wow. I don't know what to say there. I don't know what to say there.
I'm just I'm just so disappointed. I can't even lie to you.
Oh my goodness. But I don't know if you follow Jeopardy.
Oh yeah,
There was a guy,
a big timer.
a big timer, James Holzhauser,
Yeah, killing
who
it.
was riding a 32 game win streak, which is second of all time. I believe the top one is 54 game streak. He
Hmm.
accumulated over $2.4 million in that span.
Hmm.
His record is over uh, as of the 3rd of June.
Hmm. Who beat him? Did it say who won, or did he just leave
Uh,
the show?
yeah, I believe it was I want to say it was a librarian or a teacher, someone in education.
Makes sense.
But what made his streak so significant in the realm of Jeopardy was his play style. We talk about play style with like Division and Infinite Warfare
Hmm.
and other shooting games. He's a gambler.
Hmm.
Like that's his trade. So he approached Jeopardy going high stakes, high rewards. And he
Gotcha.
primarily, and there was this an analysis videos about this. Like it's amazing. Like he
Makes
basically
sense.
was hunting for daily doubles each round,
Wow.
and is essentially trying to duplicate his earnings with those daily doubles. It's crazy, but you also have to know your stuff though, and he knew his stuff. And it just so happened that everyone rides high, but any given Sunday, right?
Right. So he lost to the librarian.
Yes, he did.
And that that makes sense. I can understand that.
And my final thought, DreamHack Dallas was this past weekend,
Hmm.
and the Doc's favorite FGC personality, Punk, took home the grand prize, defeating Hot Dog 29 in grand finals.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I don't want to hear anything.
Well, no. I told you to make sure you pointed it out
Mm-hmm.
because if you don't, I'm just gonna assume that he just keeps losing.
Wow. Wow. Speaking of the top eight, though, our boy K. Brad ended in seventh place. He made it to the top eight. So big congrats to him.
Yeah. Okay.
Snake Eyes ended in 13th. Rob TV, who was on E League when they made it more drama based, he ended in 13th. And I'm not saying that because he stinks. Like Rob TV is actually a really, really good player. And a lot of things that he like E is 100%. Like he'll tell you about yourself, and you
Are you
have to
saying that
respect it
so I don't say
because
that he stinks?
I can't confirm or deny any of that stuff, sir. I don't know what to say there.
I'm just
Justin
trying to make
Wong
sure.
ended. You see, I'm continuing on and not trying to
I just say
get
I just want to
baited.
make
Nope,
sure
nope, nope. I ain't gonna say a thing.
you weren't trying to say
If you
that.
want to
So
look up
I
Raw TV and you want to look at his matches and you want to determine if he stinks or not, it's on you.
wow, he must stink.
Justin Wong ended at 17th, Alex Myers 17th, and Christopher G of New York ended in 25th.
Hmm. Chris G.
Yes.
NY Chris G.
Yes, sir.
I
And
can't even
that's
make up the
all
names for him.
I got.
Again, you have to just make sure you let me know that he won, so I don't think that he
I
lost.
know. I know. because the people don't know this. Let's talk about this real quick because we had a long conversation yesterday about this, and we're not going to take up too much time because we're definitely hitting that limit right now. We were talking about comparing the people of the FGC, primarily in Street Fighter,
Sure.
with NFL quarterbacks, past or present.
Right.
And that podcasting beast made some
Can't prove that I
very
did this.
interesting.
Can't prove that I did it. This is all speculation.
Made some very. Are you ducking now?
This is all speculation, ladies and gentlemen.
Ducking some. My gosh, that's too funny.
It's all speculation.
He is ducking now.
Am I ducking? I don't think I'm ducking.
Oh,
it really is.
Why are you ducking, bro?
I mean, it really is all speculation, though. Come on, let's be honest.
No, I get it. You know what?
No,
we'll
it
talk
really
about
is.
it then, because you're gonna sit there and like it's speculation. Like, what's up with that? That's very anticlimactic, sir.
Hey, speculation is speculation.
This is real. I'm here so I don't get fined, kind of stuff.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but that's speculation too.
But, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's outro track comes from Marcus D. The new MIDI group that he has called Absolute Zero. The song is called Dreamland, featuring Psy Star and Faya. From the new album, The Cool Volume 2, The Art of Boom Bap Jazz. Out there, available on marcusd.net on his Bandcamp page. You can also listen to it on YouTube, Spotify, and any other media outlets. Make sure you check it out. The whole album is amazing. The Doc and I had a chance to listen to the whole album. It was so hard for us to decide on just one. Give our boy Marcus D a listen. You will not be disappointed.
It's definitely a good album. Very chill, and like I said, I enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
I definitely enjoyed it.
Also, make sure you just support the artists that we always play every single week. Big shout outs to Croup Dog. You can follow us on our social medias at Beta Bugs Friends on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. You can listen to us off the podcast on iTunes, Google Podcast, Spreaker, as of this moment today, Player FM, and any and all podcast applications on your Android or iOS devices. We're always looking to do more for you, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know if there's anything we can do to make the show better. If you just don't like my voice, I'll just go away and just leave to the podcasting beast. And we appreciate every single one of you from the bottom of our hearts. Once again, I am... Actually, before I say the goodbyes, make sure you tune in next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk more about the NBA Finals and other sports news that is prevalent and is actually newsworthy.
Hopefully it's not over by the time we
You see how I add that last piece right there? Because...
No, that was perfect. Hopefully it's not over by the time we come back next week.
Who knows? Who knows? I'm not even sure myself. But, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your evening. I am the Professor John Gotti.
This is Dr. Wednesday Night, the podcast beast, the great Dakini.
And like we always say, goodbye, mwah! And to all, a good night.
Psy Star, Elevation, 14. Come on. Beautiful sunrise, moving like high tide. Watching with strange eyes, looking for white lies. See it from all sides, searching for more time. In the dreams I believe, in these I am alive. Beautiful sunrise, moving like high tide. Watching with strange eyes, looking for white lies. See it from all sides, searching for more time. In the dreams I believe, in these I am alive. Empire for hire, my galaxy is nicer. Please give me a lighter, I'm searching for the viper. In the garden neurotic, losing it cause I like the forbidden fruit handed to me from my pariah. Moving like snowdrifts, falling like sunk ships. So deep in the bullshit, paradise is missed. Kicked out the garden for knowledge, touching the lips. And now I'm touching her hips, it's so solar eclipse. Beautiful sunrise, moving like high tide. Watching with strange eyes, looking for white lies. See it from all sides, searching for more time. In the dreams I believe, in these I am alive. Beautiful sunrise, moving like high tide. Watching with strange eyes, looking for white lies. See it from all sides, searching for more time. In the dreams I believe, in these I am alive.
Beautiful sunrise, one of a lifetime. Words can bring me down for dreaming. Get ready for love, get ready for love and strong, cause I believe. Beautiful sunrise, part of my dreamland. Rhythm gives me inspiration. Get ready for good, get ready for words. I'm good cause I'm a fighter.
Don't cry for us, these are the dips. Maybe just a break, separate fact and myth. Two human beings on a living starship. The natives, they call it earth, and life they call a bitch. Striking a chord on a string theory divorce. Come away with me and see my shitty more. Language of the soul, my finger meeting the thorn. Piano over the horn, my voice reaching the Lord. Tongue like a sword with words so paranoid. Only fear is the reason that love is to avoid. Dreams are the things that separate androids from human beings who sing pain straight into the void. Annoyed at the wisdom, embrace the cataclysm. My skin like leather, my soul like good venom. I did it for the love of the art and God rhythm. Just another sinner who yearns to be a new beginner. Go. Beautiful sunrise, moving like high tide. Watching with strange eyes, looking for white lies. See it from all sides, searching for more time. In the dreams I believe, in these I am alive. Beautiful sunrise, moving like high tide. Watching with strange eyes, looking for white lies. See it from all sides, searching for more time. In the dreams I believe, in these I am alive. Follow me from politics, help me anonymous. So monogamous, one life to live, calling it. Fuck parliament, please go call the astrologist and tell them that the moon is becoming red and ominous. Welcome me to elegy, please love, don't let it be so unsettling like nightmares on Elm Streets. To be correct, my dreams never involve sheep, just the wolves in the corner grinning with their sharp teeth.